For Deadwood, South Dakota, today, high noon was the start of what local residents hope will be a fresh start.
It's a slow week in America, and our foreign editor, Jerry Lambert, said, why don't you go to Berlin? A lot going on. There were a lot of protests on the eastern side. I thought, why not?
Television is a historic moment, a moment that will live forever. You're seeing the destruction of the Berlin Wall.
Never anticipating that it would end up as one of the great stories of my lifetime, that the wall would come down. What I remember about that night is that the announcement had been mistakenly made by Gunter Schabowski earlier in the evening. The indication from the Politburo was that they would have to get visas and it would have to be a controlled process.
Deshalb haben wir uns dazu entschlossen, heute eine Regelung zu treffen, die es jedem Bürger der DDR möglich macht, über Grenzübergangspunkte der DDR auszureisen. Das tritt nach meiner Kenntnis ist das sofort. Unverzüglich.
When he said they could go out at any point, then they began to gather at the important exit points, rushed across. The East German guards, who didn't have really any orders about how to deal with all this, began to spray people. So there was a moment of great chaos and a moment, I think, of some danger that the East German guards would open fire.
The West German police have moved in here, suggesting that they move back, saying that the situation is already complicated enough, but it doesn't seem to make any difference. The people are here to celebrate freedom. For the East Germans, freedom to travel, a primary right for people anywhere in the world.
Well, you have to understand that the East was separated from West Berlin by that wall, which was high and forbidding, and people were shot trying to get through it. But then when it came down, the people from the East came into West Berlin, and they were like visitors from Venus to the moon. They couldn't believe what they were seeing in terms of well-stocked shops and people in very contemporary clothing. They came in their acid-wash jeans and their cheap vests.
We're very, very happy. That's a great moment for us in West Berlin. And we're happy that the people from East Berlin can come over and see us and see all those wonderful things here.
They had no consumer goods. They didn't have much hope for a future. And they wandered through the streets, and it was at once very touching, and also it was really kind of unsettling to know that they had to live like that for as long as they did.
As we say goodnight from this wall on this night, it is worth reflecting what this ugly barrier has meant to all of us on both sides for 28 years now. From this side, the most eloquent testimony came from a young American president when he visited here just a few months before he was killed, the summer of 1963, and his words have a special resonance for the events of the autumn of 1989.
There are some who say that communism is the wave of the future. Let them come to Berlin.
The fact that it happened as dramatically as it did is a great testimony to their determination to live freely. It was an exclamation point for the Cold War. You have to understand that the sponsors of East Germany, the Moscow Politburo and Gorbachev and his colleagues, were already beginning, if not unraveling the Soviet Union, they were beginning to take it down piece by piece by piece. And that encouraged those people who were in East Germany. But there was still a lot of unraveling to do.